Sup, nerds, and welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We have a town. It is a real town. It has industry jobs for people to work at. It has almost all the emergency services we need. There's some issues with health that have to do with, well, our doctors are just slammed because there's an epidemic going on, unfortunately. So our health is lower than I'd like. We have a lot of unemployment because I was a little foolish and brought in a bunch of third world workers who I did not realize would need to spend 5 hours in school each before they were able to actually work. But that's being pushed through, and we're getting our factories built. But you might have noticed I just said most of our emergency services, and that's because I realized since the last video I recorded, I missed something crucial. So if we go into state infrastructure, we got the hospital, we never got any kind of fire station built for this town. So let's get that fixed right now. Fire station doesn't have to be anything hyper fancy. We can put it here where most citizens can walk to it. Is that where I want it? Yeah, because then it should also have range. It's going to get a vehicle in it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be able to have everything needed. So we've got this set up. It's going to get everybody coming in, and they'll be happy and great, and the town won't burn down. Hopefully. So we'll get that built. Over here, we're looking at maybe expanding this out once our workers are more ready to work. I'm also thinking it might be time to start looking at getting a basic headquarters, the small headquarters of the party. That can hold a lot of workers in it, so it feels a lot to get already, but we could. And that would help get people at least the basic level of education going. I'll turn on the speed now that I've got the fire station down so that can get started on being worked on. But we're going to get everybody moving. We are ready for the upcoming winter. Just I didn't even think about the fire risk, and there's definitely some fire risk in this town. Thought about it a little more, decided that yes, this is a building I want, this small party headquarters. And since we already have the central area, that seems a fantastic place to build it. So that's down. We've got the paths leading to it. We'll get that built as well. That will let us train up. We've only got a handful of students who are needing university education, 24 right now. Citizen health too low. I know, there's an epidemic. Chill out. Average lifespan's down to 65, which is lower than it once was, but it's going up again. The doctor is starting to catch up on people needing treatment. Starting to. But this will allow us to get a university education going. It will also allow us to start building citizen loyalty, which is going to bring up our general happiness as well. It will make our workers more efficient and it will produce more educated workers, all of which are going to be very good as we move forward. One nice thing about having my own workers is that they were able to start even before the foreign workers got in and just start getting some of this groundwork done. I do wish we were able to get a crane off of this building. I don't think it's possible. I think this just doesn't connect into a real road. It has to go off of footpaths. But it does feel a shame that we're not able to get one onto here. It'll get built though. Fire truck or fire station shouldn't have the same issues, and that's now getting its asphalt coming in and has some workers on site already as well. Both of these should be done pretty quickly. I'd guess by the end of the year, honestly. Especially once we get some foreign workers in there. I'm also silly. I forgot that we're not going to get a crane before the groundworks are done. So that section needs to be done first, and then we can see some of the real upgrades happen. It's also very fitting of the Soviet state that despite the fact that I marked the fire station a higher priority, it's the headquarters being built first. That that unfortunately seems very right. We're still getting the groundwork done here. Things are still happening, so I'm not too stressed about it. It's just funny, honestly. It's very funny to me. We're below temperature, so if people are going to be freezing to death, it's going to be happening now. But taking a look, we have plenty of hot water in these buildings, plenty of storage of it. I think everything will be okay. Yeah, here comes a crane for the party headquarters right now, and we have a second one for the fire station, so that will clear out pretty quickly. Just need to get our last resources in. We're still not quite where I want to be in terms of population density. We're getting issues of stop production in the heating plant, and you can see there's someone in there now. A couple are coming in now to fill it back up, and it doesn't take much to keep the city warm right now, but it's enough that I'm a little concerned and very glad that we are continuing to train more workers up to keep them up to date and ready to go. Taking a look at the economy, we're still losing a little money every month. And if we click in, we can see where that's coming. It's foreign manpower. It was the immigrant invitations over the course of the last month, and it is importing resources. That said, we are starting to see resources get exported back out, mostly just wastewater. I think we should be seeing. Oh, hang on. Let me bring this to a. Let's bring it to last month, or bring the last couple months. Yeah, we're net positive on import and export of wastewater, but that's expensive. So maybe getting a way to handle our waste is up in the priorities, or just making sure that the workers. We need more people to make this factory going a bit better. Epidemic. Uh, Oh, good. Another epidemic happening. We're just going to get slammed in the hospitals, but nothing else we can do aside from trying to keep it staffed. Our fire station has finished. Why is it max zero? Probably because I need vehicles. So here we go. I want one that has decent capacity, great speed. I'm thinking these basic ones right here, these middle of the road. They're pretty fast, 85 kilometers an hour as opposed to 62. And why don't we get one of each? One fast one heavy one, just in case things go bad. That's a very necessary thing to have here. Last thing we want is middle of winter, no fire truck. My big concern with getting state headquarters is that it's going to draw away skilled teachers from the school and the clinic. The upside, though, is that this explicitly trains more. So we'll be able to get our own workers produced with degrees who will be able to handle everything that we need. Education is improving. We're getting fewer unemployed workers who are just uneducated and getting an increased desire for university education. So, this is really the time. More educated workers are also more productive. So, this ends up being a very good way to boost the productivity of each worker and make each one more valuable for the resources you bring in. Snow is starting to fall over the city. We'll see the snowplows kick in and get to work, and hopefully everything is well stocked enough that we shouldn't have any issues really. Good. We are getting firefighters. It's wonderful. Can I limit the number that work here in any way, shape, or form? Hmm. Because there we go. We could keep this down to like 20 for now. 15 works. We don't we don't need it completely full all the time for a city of this size. We can increase that as the need increases. Probably could do the same with the shops and so on, but we've had enough issues with starvation that I want to keep that going. It's 25th of November. This is 88% done. My prediction of this being done by the end of the year is definitely true. Stop production of the heating plant. Yeah. This is still just, we're not getting enough workers being shipped out here, and having more in the fire station isn't good. I think I think the next step is to get more residents, and I'm gonna see where I can fit a couple buildings that will have access to everything. Party headquarters are done. We're already getting officials in, and we are teaching some students. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to put the required government loyalty for educating people to be. Can I just click this? I would like it to be right around 50%. 52 is fine. Make sure that every student who's being taught is being taught by somebody who is loyal. I'm not so worried about government loyalty for students yet, but we will get more people dedicated to the party that way. I see research, I consider research. Research is not what we need past maybe some basics in fire prevention would be pretty good. I'll think about this. Maybe once we have the building maxed out in terms of students, or we have a huge gap in students needing education, we can put a couple officials that way. Went ahead and started a minor residential upgrade here, just two more flats back to back, and our first medium, mostly because a medium one fit in here really well, and I can see a line of those going down. There are some issues with them getting to the grocery store. I think that has to do with, well, the temperature and everything. Going to make sure that we get all these footpaths upgraded to gravel while we're doing this. It seems a good time to do that. I'm not so worried about like getting them to asphalt yet, but just getting everything into gravel at least will speed up some of these connections, make it so that as I'm expanding down here, people are still at least getting fed, right? And these ones on these buildings, they can just walk along the road if they have to. The only thing we're potentially cutting off access to here is the school, which of course that's very important, but people will still walk along these paths. In 8 work days, like these footpaths will be built out very quickly. Meantime, with the snow coming, the plows are running. We're starting to see the world opening up a bit. Yeah, I think this is going along pretty well. Yeah, nobody can actually make it to the party headquarters. That's fine. The number of adults who are uneducated is steadily going down, which means our buildings are steadily filling. I know citizen happiness is too low. Please stop sending me warnings at that level. And we're just sort of trying to do this expansion logically, reasonably. We are getting the roads a little bit further out than may be necessary just because, well, I prefer that. I prefer having more ready to go. We can already see people waiting at the bus stop for some jobs and filtering onto some of these sites. They'll probably fill them in once we get some actual materials dropped onto them. What I would love to do is squeeze in a footpath from here connecting to this. Oh, I can right there. I think that's actually necessary because I think this section isn't considered connected to down here because they'd have to pass through the bus stop. So getting that going and some of these smaller ones, maybe. Can I put something in the middle there? I can't. Hmm. But I can do this, and I can do this. I can curve it, maybe. I'll play around with footpaths, try to find something that makes sense for connecting all these places up. There we go. These will all connect all these residential buildings together into one chunk. And I believe I can just draw a footpath down here. So it might be a little too narrow right there, but with that, we should be able to at least get people into some of these spots a little better. If I, what if, nah, that's not gonna work. Okay, straight line? What if it's a completely straight line? No, just a little idiosyncrasy of building in the way I did. I think it'll be fine. Our population fell mostly due to deaths, in fact, entirely due to deaths. We do have that epidemic running. We can see, though, we finally started getting a handle on our number of patients. So that should stabilize. And I think mostly what's just been happening is that we've got a kind of old population still. Uh, we are starting to have some issues now that some people aren't able to work because we don't have places for them to work. So I think that the next thing that makes sense is getting a second clothes shop, clothing factory made to feed back into here. And once we have that, we'll do the fabric factory as the feeder for them both. And once we have that, we'll look into taking some of this vast open area and turning it into farmland. So that's exciting. I've also been looking up at Scalica here, and I really do want to put people in there at some point. Like we have the houses. There's not a ton of people who can live in each, but 20, 30 in some of these buildings, that adds up to being a pretty dense little area that we could have running these factories or something like that. So going to start expanding over that way to be able to incorporate that as a suburb of Zvenimon here. Mostly though, we just need to be building this. It's taking a while to get all the gravel in because of the snow. Just taking a look at this kindergarten here. We can tell people are happy. They're having a lot of kids. Our one empty flat is starting to fill up. So it's definitely good that we're making more over here. I don't know what happened. Coal got into our gravel supply, and that was never the intent for this location. Aggregate storages can only have one thing each, so I think the easiest thing to do, I could try to load it up, ship it over, handle all that. But that's stopping construction of everything at this point, so why would I leave it as it is? I think I just need to get another aggregate storage of coal here, or not coal, of gravel, and we'll just toss it right here. Set that down, tell it to only store gravel, and we'll reassign our construction offices to look for gravel from there and to get we're importing rocks. That's something else I really need to get being made internally, but for now we just really need to be making sure we have a source of rocks. We're going to go ahead and make this higher priority among all the things we're making, just that little bit of road, so that we can have gravel coming in and actually build all this out. I was wondering why it was taking so long, and that certainly explained it. Gonna have to double check the distribution office here and what it's doing. I think it's this one. Very strange. But with that specified now, it should be pretty quick that it changes. I suppose the smart thing would have been to make this a mud road, but it doesn't matter at this point. It's going to be done within seconds. The gravel is coming in right now. No, it's going elsewhere. Again, not a huge deal, little annoying. We'll get the gravel laid out for these roads, and eventually it'll come around and we'll get that aggregate storage up and just fix the distribution center to take care of that. Still very confused about how it happened. I'm not sure what's going on, but buildings on fire. I think we have an earthquake happening. What's burning? Everything. All right. All right. I'm glad we got this fire station and that we gave it multiple trucks. Coincidentally, I think I'm going to increase the number of workers who are allowed to work here. Just feels like it might be a good thing to do. Are they getting out and doing things? Looks like it. Well, I don't think we're saving every building, but we're saving some of them. That was unexpected and unfortunate, but hopefully we can take care of this problem pretty quickly. Couple injured citizens there. This one's half burned already. This one, did we save it? We did. Also, a lot of disturbing notifications. Unable to get food, unable to get electronics. We'll take care of that later. Right now, we've got to keep these buildings from burning down. That one's good. Can we get into the party headquarters? Get that saved. Either of you, can you get there? No fire trucks coming to deal with fire. Um, hang on. Did I just miss a spot where we're supposed to be able to connect to this? No, it doesn't look like it. Am I gonna lose this building just after building it? Like, oh, here we go, I bet. Just slowly extend this out and connect it there. Maybe that'll work? Don't have much time left here, but fire trucks are heading back in, covering. No fire trucks coming to deal with fire. Distressing? I don't know what else is needed here, but we'll figure it out. I guess when we rebuild it, it's good that nobody was working here at the time. But there it goes. Our small party headquarters are gone. That place was expensive to make too. Well, we can see a feature of realistic mode here is that when buildings burn down, they produce waste. That waste will get picked up by the demolitions offices when it's time. But oh, you know what? It's because all of these footpaths were being built. Okay, lesson learned. Always make sure you have some way for buildings to get in and through. At least people's houses made it. That would have been much worse than just losing the party headquarters temporarily. Honestly, if all the buildings are burned down, it being the headquarters is symbolic in a way I find absolutely delightful. Oh well, one mistake. Our money's doing okay. It's mostly stable outside of when we're doing big projects. What I really need to do is figure out a way to do those better. And we sewage tank overflowing. This snow is really being a problem. It's slowed down the production of so much, and it's keeping these people from getting there. I think we need to turn all this into asphalt in time. Obviously, lesson just learned. I'm not doing it all at once right now. We're going to get these buildings up first. We're going to get this, making sure this is working. But I feel like they should be able to walk there. They are. It just is the snow sometimes. All right. Unable to participate in sports, or these places just full? No, they're just not closed due to bad weather. So I might need some indoor sports entertainment as well for the cold months. Renaming this place to the gravel storage, so I'm sure that I'm doing this right. We can see that it's got the 30% storage, and it will only store gravel. That should keep something like this from ever happening again. We're about to get a lot more mixed waste in here with the building burning down. That's fine. Police not arrived. That's because we don't have police yet. Crime is a thing. It's not a huge issue yet, but it sure is a thing that has been around, and it's something we should do. Insufficient or polluted drinking water is happening. Yeah, okay, these trucks aren't able to keep up in the winter either. So, I do have this technical office here still. I'm going to bring in some more snowplow. Nope, wrong bit. I guess I'll bring in one snowplow, send the two trucks to storage, and bring in the others. I should have been a little more careful there. We'll get this done. Wow. In the Skelica one, we got it full of gravel somehow. So everything has gone to crap here. Somehow the distribution office was backwards. And that might explain a bit of why we're occasionally getting some heating production stops. Is there a way I can just dump this? Like, how can I might just make another free one across the way here and move the gravel, like assign a few trucks to do it. Oh, here's this. These ones can go over here to this depot and sit there until I surely will need more of those trucks anyway. We're gonna get a couple more snowplows, even though it is now spring. Thankfully, the roads have cleared. Things should clear back up. We're going to go ahead and focus on getting these paths built out so we can get this cleaned up and get that building back up. Shouldn't be too long. Though we are getting the medium flat here built, and that's now done. So I forgot to turn off auto gaining citizens. That was a hit to our economy I didn't want, but honestly, we have the jobs. We sure have the jobs right now for them, so I won't complain. With spring, we have these roads, and we're seeing that the mixed waste is already starting to be picked up from here. We'll start getting everything back on course. Going to let these all build out as well. Keep replacing roads and footpaths, and then start looking at asphalt for the main core of the town. Just basic asphalt, but enough that people are able to move properly during the winter and everything that they need to do. All right, so I've been thinking about it. I could bring in a truck. In fact, I have one here to move all this gravel back and forth. But gravel's cheap. I'm going to discard all of it that was in there, and we're going to mark this to store coal. And there we go. Now the storage should be working properly. The coal will file up here, move into there. We won't have to deliver it directly into the heating plant anymore. I did go ahead and put a gas station out here that I'm going to set the distribution centers to handle. I believe this is the one that has a cistern. It is, so we'll just make sure we're getting some gas out here for all these vehicles we're putting out here. Now I have a dump truck that will be useful for various specific tasks around here. This is emptying. It's a long process. Our dump is filling up. It's already at 70% full. That sheer amount of waste isn't helping, so we opened up a second one. Trying to think of how I want to handle this. I think it's fine to keep storing it up for now until we have a solution to deal with it. If it gets to be too bad, of course, I can always deliver it here. We have our gravel storage set up here properly. Everything's working there. We're recovered from those weird mistakes that were going on. Except for this. But this is coming in time. In the meantime, once I have these buildings built, I'm seeing this money dropping faster and faster. With more people, we need more money coming in. I think I think we'll get more and more coming into work here. Sewage tanks are always overflowing as well, so I need to maybe bring a couple more into this unloading that I'm doing. They should be all coming in here and emptying it out, but you know, they're small. It takes a while. It's a long trip. I might want to look into just going. That's going to be so expensive to bring it over to that river, but I'll think of something to deal with the sewage, even if it's building my own little lake and filling it that way. Hopefully, it won't be. The good news is that we got most of the students who wanted to study through university before this burned down. I don't know if that's worth functionally 100,000 rubles of material, but that's what happened, so I don't hate it. I grabbed two larger sewage trucks. I'm setting them on the sewage export line as well. Each one of these has about three times the storage capacity as the small ones, should solve our problems for the long term, well, medium term. Economy continues taking hits, but I don't think it's in resources. If we take a look at the economy and trade, import and export, and let's just do it. Let's do it for the whole year. We're seeing imports going to be about 70,000. And then if we go back and look at exports, 25,000. Okay, we do need to get more people getting clothes and selling that. I acknowledge this. We need only 4 people working here is a terrible sign, so we need more population. Once they stop all running to build buildings as well, many of them will go to work in the factory. It's also part of what's happening. I wonder if I could bring foreign workers to work here, now that I think about it. I bet I could, but it doesn't seem efficient when we have the option of just we have workers at home. Feeling reassured, this building can in fact make it out to the store, especially now that we've set out all these gravel footpaths. I don't think footpaths are slowed too much by winter. Hopefully that is correct. If not, we'll put another store out here eventually and make this another residential block, expand down with more substations and heating and everything. But for now, that's pretty cool. Headquarters are being rebuilt, which is fantastic. We should also have a way for people to, go there if it burns down again this time with all these roads back in place. I feel very silly about that. We're getting these last flats built up, and with this extra living space, we should be seeing more and more workers coming in. We're up to a population of 850 already, and there's not too many who are waiting on anything that's desperately needed. Like, a couple have small childs, one has small children, one has the need for going to school, but all of those are available and ready to handle those needs. I'm probably not going to bring in more third world workers for a bit, just because that was a delay in everything. As we head into May, into the summer, as we recover from our mistake and our money drops to worryingly low levels here, we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. Think the next episode I have to focus on money making, so I'm going to go ahead and expand out this industrial area, make sure we have enough workers to keep these buildings full. Do love seeing that rush that just came in and filled it up. But that's going to be it for this episode. So thank you everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.